Hi everybody, my name is Nicole Moen and this is video number 3 for the Wisdompreneur video challenge. My topic today is going to be goats, and came to this topic when Valerie Harold, who's another one of the Wisdompreneurs who's in my group doing this challenge, she put a call out asking people what should I do a video on, and even suggested dares. So I said goat farming, partly as a joke, but partly not. It's actually something I would like to know more about, and I'll tell you why. My work in the past 3 years has been primarily about something that we call the new economy, and it's a huge umbrella for many emerging things. And so I'm going to use goats as an example of things having to do with the new economy. And so just very briefly, it ties into things that are local, like a local economy. So sourcing food and manufactured goods and so on totally locally, where you know, the wood to make the bowl that's created next door, you know, comes from within, you know, several miles of where you live. So that's local. It ties in with permaculture principles, particularly something we call permanomics, so permaculture economics. Permaculture comes from permanent agriculture, and it started with sort of food installations on pieces of land that sustain over a long period of time. You put all your nutrient inputs in right at the beginning, and over time it takes less and less maintenance, and you have more and more yield from the installation. So permaculture economics is permaculture principles applied in an economic realm. There's layering principles and resilience regeneration principles, those kinds of things. And goats come under what you might call living capital, or natural capital is something that's part of the permanomics conversation. And so that's just generally speaking. So why goats over cows? Goats are smaller, easier to keep. They take fewer resources to keep them. Cows use an enormous amount of water and food in order to maintain them. Also, you know, cow milk is more designed for growing 400-pound cows over the course of 6 months. Goats have a little lower fat content, and their milk more closely resembles that which humans can consume with fewer health issues. Don't have anything against cows, just, you know, maybe we don't need quite so many. So permaculture, one of the things that's tricky in permaculture installations, like the idea is to have enough layers in the installations, sort of low plants, bushes, trees, vines that grow up the trees. So layers in the canopy, and then layers from close to your home and as it goes out from your home, sort of relative to how much maintenance the things that you're installing need. And one of the things that's difficult is protein. And you can get protein from certain kinds of beans and nuts and so on. But then you're also starting to have a conversation about things like chickens and eggs and chicken meat and goats and goat milk. And so goats can play a role in how we're able to acquire protein. So this all ties in with self-sufficiency, and community sufficiency is more likely. It's not feasible for everybody to have a goat, probably, but maybe the neighbor down the street really likes goats, and so they have 10 goats and they milk their goats. But maybe you're more into carrots and tomatoes, for example, and so there can be a community level trading that goes on. It's not as if it's more like the village idea, where there are enough people doing enough things that you can have a type of trade that goes around. Not that there wouldn't be any need for currency, because sometimes you don't need goat milk and they don't need carrots. So that's when cash becomes helpful, either community currency or a federal currency, whatever is needed. But then you can trade your goat milk for carrots and tomatoes, or carpentry skills, or haircuts, or knitted sweaters, or bike repair, whatever it is you need. And that all ties in with something that we call reskilling, or skilling, if you didn't have it in the first place. And these are kinds of things that our grandparents, or at least my grandparents, would have just taken for granted. They knew how to do. They knew how to grow food and preserve food. They know how to repair tools. I'm looking at my list here. Making clothes, knitting, animal care, and some of the more or the less concrete, less material skills, like how to get along when you're living in close quarters with somebody, or how to do conflict in a healthy way, or how do you design and implement and use non-hierarchical management structures for these things, or how to grieve as things end and structures fall or water disappears. Hello, California, and many other places in the not too distant future. How do we do those things? And so goats are part of that conversation. Thank you, Valerie, for that little prompt. I think you were saying maybe not you first. So there I did first. Maybe you can go next. Anyway, thanks all for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.